There we go. We move to the calf muscles. Oops. That's where we stop. Oops. Let's move to the calf muscle. Most significantly, in the back, there are two visible swellings that bulge out when someone stands on their toes. These two superficial muscles have a third companion line underneath that is part of the group. Together, they assure the body weight does not collapse the ankle joint under gravity when we stand upright. Can you name those muscles? Anybody? Sartorius? Gastro? Soleus? Who tell me?
Like gastrocnemius and the soleus.
Perfect. Yes. So let's go. So we had the muscles in question right here are. Where am I? We're already down here. These muscles back here. Let me pull these over a little bit so you can see it. Oops. I guess I can't do that. Oops. There we go. No, there we go. So the muscles that we're talking about are, when you look at the calf, situation, you got a top layer here. That's the gastrocnemius, and you can see those bulges out. And then underneath that gastrocnemius, you have another muscle deep in here, down in the bottom, that's called the soleus. And that attaches to the tibula and fibula and goes also, like the gastroc, into the heel bone. So if you visualize those muscles, when they contract, they pull the heel up. And that basically makes you stand on your toe. Does that make sense? Yeah?
So the answer is the gastrocnemius and soleus, only
Yes,
two?
gastrocnemius and soleus.
And I think when I had that answer and I think it was wrong, that's what I retake the quiz.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Number 7. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and check that in the back. Anybody else had that experience? Hold on. I'm gonna check it real quick. Nope. See these? Should be all right.
Okay.
So do it again and check. If you're not, get back to me.
Okay.
And we'll fix in the background. Then it's more of a question of the program is kind of freaking out. But I think we should. Oh, thank God I got that right. The other one, that was the sartorius muscle that's on there. The sartorius goes from the front of the hip here on the side all the way to the middle knee. And it's the muscle that brings the foot to the opposite knee. So it's the one that makes you cross over your leg. And sartorius means tailor. And that's why that picture is up here. That's that muscle. And then what was the other one? I think that was a flexor. Flexor hallucis longus. When you look at the lower extremities, the leg here, so what you have one superficial layer in the back, that's the gastrocnemius and the soleus, and then deep below that you have like 3 compartments. You have one on the front here, and then you have one deep on the back, or no, we have one on the side behind the fibula. That's right here. So the front was like in front of the fibula, and then the one is behind the fibula, and then you have a deep one, and that's deep underneath that gastrocnemius and the soleus. And that's how I kind of study those muscles a little bit. So the 3 compartments, the one in the front compartment pulls your toes or your ankle upward, so dorsally flexes it. The one in the back compartment, the posterior compartment, the back compartment, basically pulls anything down into the ground, like it flexes it downward, either the ankle or the toes. So it does sort of the same work as the gastrocnemius does, except for the further down the ankle or the toes themselves. So if you stand on your tippy toes, you probably have the flexor hallucis longus do a lot of work, and you will feel it in the back. If you do ballet or so, you feel that. And then the lateral compartment is the last one, and that's on the outside. Those muscles are called the fibularis, from fibula. They're right by the fibula. And they're very much holding the ankle up so it doesn't collapse to the outside. So that's like you twist your ankle. Anybody twist their ankle? Come on, tell me somebody's in the house.
Yep.
Yeah, you did, right? I did. So when you twist your ankle, you stretch these outside ligaments out here. And what happens then, the muscles that are right behind the fibula get really tight because they contract. So they pull that ankle to the outside. So they protect those ligaments that are not as strong anymore. And so that's how, that's why a lot of times they get tender in here. So you start working them. So in the lower leg or in the leg itself, that's those are the three main compartments underneath that triceps surae. So combined, the gastrocnemius and the soleus are known as the triceps surae. Tri means three, so there's three heads. That's why they do that. All right. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Besides the superficial triceps surae, the deeper calf muscle can be grouped in three compartments. I just talked about that. Anterior compartment that extends the toe, dorsiflexion. Posterior, that plantar flexion or brings the foot down. And a lateral compartment that is filled with muscles significantly help evert the foot, which means bringing the toes out and up and out. So that's eversion. Out. Eversion means out. Which muscles dorsiflex the big toe?
Extensor digitorum.
Which one?
The extensor digitorum.
Good. And that's good. Extensor is good. And then what about big toe, though? Digit means fingers. What about big toe?
Is that the extensor hallucis?
There you go. Right. The extensor hallucis longus. So let's go to the booklet.
Write that down.
So that was good. Look at that. That's teamwork right there, huh? So all the anterior compartment muscles right next to the shin on the outside, where you feel the meat next to the bone, that's a lot of that is bringing the toes and the ankle upward. And then we have the tibialis to us just means it goes to the ankle area. So it's more the ankle pulling up, but then digitorum means it goes to the toes. That's the red one here. And then hallucis is the big toe, hallucis longus. And so that's the big toe muscle here. So that pulling the big toe up will be the extensor hallucis longus.
That kind of explains why, like, when I broke my second to big toe, and it felt like I could feel it all the way into like my shin.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I was like, it's just a toe. Why is it hurting everywhere else?
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's like the forearm. That the movers of the toes are in the calf, in the leg, and in the forearm it's the same. The movers of the fingers are in the forearm muscles.
Okay.
I know. I just had a patient yesterday, and she has wrist problems. So we worked up here, and it's like, wow, I'm showing you my finger, because when you work them, the fingers start moving around because you control the finger movements with the muscles up here in the forearm.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So that's good. So see, you're feeling the right thing. Twisting an ankle strongly makes the side of one's calf achy and sore. That pain comes from the place where the muscles of the lateral compartment anchor into the fibula. Usually the most affected of them is the one that reaches behind the lateral malleolus, and from there travels underneath the foot and attaches under the underside of the longitudinal arch, which is kind of crazy. If you have a twisted ankle, there's a likelihood that digging your fingers deep into the medial foot underneath the arch is tender. What muscle is that?
Is the fibularis longus?
Yes, fibularis longus. So let me show you. So if you look at it lateral, the side compartment here, lateral, you have 3 muscles or 4, depending on who you're talking to or how deep you go in the analysis. The first one is a fibularis longus, and that's attached all the way up here, which is the knee is right up here, all the way from the knee down to about midsection. And then that tendon goes behind the outside bump on the ankle, underneath the foot, and reaches all the way to down here. See, it goes all the way underneath the foot to down here. And so that's by your middle arch in the foot on the middle side. And so when that contracts, it pulls the foot to the outside. So if you're twisting the ankle, you know, and it bends this way towards the inside, and these ligaments are wimpy afterwards, that muscle is perfect because it pulls on it and it brings it out that way. Oops, I should have done that. Hold on. That's a PowerPoint. And it pulls it out that way, and so it straightens it out. So that's why when the ligaments aren't strong anymore, this muscle really gets crampy and has to take over for all the work. And then that's the first one. And then the brevis is the smaller one, and that's attached here. You see this bone here? That's the brevis, and that goes right into this bone right in here on the outside. So that does not reach underneath. Okay? Almost like too much information, right? You can tell I love this stuff. The last muscle of the group, oh, look at that. That's the last actually question here. The last muscle of the group lies deep posteriorly underneath the triceps sura. It's the 3 muscles that attach to the fibula and the tibia in the back and from there travel behind the medial malleolus to then anchor into the medial arch at the underside of all the toes, including the hallux. Which of them inserts into the tarsals and the metatarsals?
It's the brevis and the tetrus, right?
Which one?
No. Is it the brevis?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought I knew, but I don't know.
Well, it was very confusing for me, but I put down the flexor halixius.
Hallux longus?
Yeah.
I was looking for the tibialis posterior.
Well, I did that first, and it said that it was.
No, you're wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let's check it. Hold on.
Oh, I got in between those two.
No, I got it right. Gee, we got to talk. Is Marcella?
Go ahead.
Is maybe, I don't know. Maybe the quiz, I don't know. But text me. If you get it wrong and you think you did it right, text me so you don't have to always question it too many times, okay?
But it's very confusing. Can you help me out? I mean, try to understand.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm here. I know it's not. Where am I? Oh, shoot. Hold on. That's the one. Here we go. So, uh-oh. Well, let's just go through it, huh?
Okay.
The posterior compartment. I know. When I made these questions, I'm just writing what I come up with, and it took a long time to make. It's like 450 questions. And so some of them might be a little bit confusing, a little bit deep. Basically, what I'm trying to do is just describe things so it makes it easy to understand it. And so if it makes it harder, you text me and we'll talk about it. How about that? Okay?
Okay. Cool.
That's the main aim, is that we just massage the material a little bit in the mind, and so it sticks better for next time. So anyway, I was having the posterior tibialis is right here, and that goes from the inside here, the red one, behind the medial malleolus, and then see where it anchors in. It goes almost to the same place where the fibularis goes in from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I looked at the question, oops, that's not what I was looking for. Uh-oh, now I'm way behind. Where is the question? My computer is running out of space. It's not so kind to me when I do this online stuff all the time. All right. There we go. So we're looking at the The one that inserts in the tarsal and the metatarsal. You see that? So we're looking at the muscle that's underneath the triceps, all right? So that's underneath the gastrocnemius. And then we have this 3 muscle component that's attached to the fib tip in the back, and there travels behind the inside bump, the medial malleolus, on the bump on the ankle, and then anchors to the medial arch and the underside of the toe, or the arch itself, the metatarsal and the tarsals. So it's the same. It's kind of like the same as in the front. In the front, you have a tibialis anterior, and that goes into the tarsals, into the ankle bones, and then the extensor digitorum and the extensor hallucis goes into the toes or the hallux, into the big toe. And here the flexors is the same thing. You got a flexor digitorum that goes all the way into the toes here and pushes the toes into the ground. That's what that does, pushing the toes into the ground. And then you got the one that's called the hallux longus, and that goes into the toe, and that pushes the big toe into the ground right here. And so the one I was asking was the one that anchors into the tarsal and the metatarsal.